Have you ever noticed that more square footage almost never fixes the mess? You can move into a place twice the size, and 3 months later, you're standing in front of the same packed closets and the same visual chaos. It's not about space. The Japanese live in some of the smallest homes on the planet, and yet their homes feel clean, calm, and open. How? They simply stopped treating storage as a way to shove stuff somewhere. Instead, they built a system of 7 principles that has worked flawlessly for generations. Today, I'll show you how these 7 principles completely change the way your home feels. No renovation, no big spending. And the biggest one? It fixes the chaos for good, even though almost nobody ever thinks about it. Principle 1, a closed entryway. Your entry isn't just a hallway you rush through. It's the psychological gate between the outside world and your safe place. You come home after a long day, open the door, and you're greeted by a pile of coats, bags, and a dozen pairs of shoes, and your brain instantly gets a stress signal. Chaos at the door infects how you see the entire home in about 1 second. Beating the mess starts right at the threshold. Hide your coats and shoes behind smooth, closed cabinet fronts, and you create a sense of clean, open space out of thin air. Flat doors bounce light around and soften the hard edges of a tight room. Here's how to get the most out of even a tiny entry. First, keep only today's shoes out. The current season, maybe a second pair. Everything else goes inside the cabinet. Second, a narrow shoe cabinet, just 10 or 12 inches deep, with tilt-out compartments, holds a surprising amount and barely eats any space. Third, use the inside of the cabinet doors. Hooks for keys, an umbrella, bags. That's dead space most people waste. And fourth, a full-length mirror by the door visually doubles the room and adds light. Common mistake, an open coat rack out in the open. It feels convenient, but it's exactly what creates that visual noise at the door. Do this: 1 closed cabinet at the entry, and only today's shoes stay out. Everything else behind the door. But hiding things behind a door is only step 1. The real enemy of open space is hiding inside, on your shelves, and its name is the habit of stacking things in piles. Principle 2, vertical storage. Regular stacks of clothes are a disaster inside a drawer. The bottom pieces get crushed under the top ones, and to pull out one t-shirt, you knock over the whole tower. A little hit of stress every single morning. The fix is one simple flip of the axis. Switch from horizontal stacks to vertical, and you free up as much as 40% of the space. Clothes folded into neat little rectangles and stood on their edge turn into a filing system. You see your whole wardrobe at a glance. You grab one piece, and you never touch the others. Here's how it actually works. Fold each piece into a firm rectangle, a little shorter than the drawer is deep. Then it stands on its own and doesn't fall over. If things still tip, drop in some simple dividers to keep the rows straight. And it's not just for t-shirts. The same trick works for underwear, towels, kids' clothes, even bedding. Quick test that you did it right. You open the drawer from above, and you can see every single item without disturbing one. And notice, we still haven't spent a dime on furniture, and your drawers are already almost half empty. Do this. Fold your clothes to stand upright, on edge, with dividers between the rows. But there's one zone even vertical folding can't save: deep shelves, where things sink and vanish for years. That's where the most wasted space is hiding. Principle 3, zoning a deep closet. The back of a deep shelf is a dead zone. Anything at the far wall basically stops existing for you. Put in pull-out bins and deep baskets, and the whole depth slides right out to you in one move. Nothing gets lost in the dark anymore. Now here's how to zone it so the closet works for you. Split it into 3 tiers by height. The golden zone, at eye and chest level, is for what you use every day. The top tier is for seasonal and rare stuff. Winter bedding, off-season clothes, the things you touch twice a year. The bottom tier is for heavy, bulky items, so you're not lifting them over your head. And if the shelf is really deep, put the back row up on a small riser so you can actually see what's behind. Label anything that goes deep. 5 seconds on a tag saves you 5 minutes of digging. Do this. Split the closet into 3 tiers: daily at eye level, seasonal up high, heavy down low, and use pull-out bins for the depth. But there's a second trap waiting here: how those containers look. Principle 4. One container code. Mismatched cardboard boxes, loud fabric baskets, clear plastic bins from the store. All of it creates a new layer of visual noise, and your brain is overloaded all over again. The secret to real order is one strict, unified code. Identical containers in calm, neutral tones melt into the closet, erase the borders between things, and turn chaos into one clean, calm structure. Here's how to build that code without mistakes. First, measure the depth and height of the shelf and pick one module size that fits snugly with no gaps. Then the boxes stack like bricks and you don't lose an inch. Go with matte, natural materials: linen, rattan, plain white, or beige. Glossy and bright colors become noise themselves. Clear bins only where the contents are already tidy. If it's a jumble inside, go closed. And one rule that holds it all together: one box, one category, with labels in a single, consistent style. You open the door, you see even rows of identical boxes, and your home starts calming you down instead of wearing you out. Do this: one module size for the shelf, one neutral color, one box per category. But even perfect containers are useless if the stuff inside them has no rules. You need a framework of habits that won't let the chaos back in. Principle 5. A fixed address. Why does order fall apart right after you clean? Because most of your things simply don't have a home. A fixed address means every item, even the smallest one, has one exact place. Scissors, chargers, keys, if they don't have their own slot, they turn into drifters and take over your countertops. Here's how to hand out those addresses in one evening. Start simple. Walk through the house and gather every drifting little thing into one box. Now, give each category one home. Keys, a tray right by the door. Chargers and cables, one slot in a drawer, not 5 outlets around the house. Documents, one folder. Medications, one box. The rule: every small thing gets not somewhere around there, but an exact spot you can name out loud. Then give those spots walls. Break your drawers up with tray dividers. When small things have their own compartments, they stop blending into one big mess, and the address holds by itself. And here's the powerful trigger: an empty slot in an organizer practically calls you to put the item back. Your brain doesn't like an unfilled outline. Lock it in with the 2-minute rule. If you can put something back home in under 2 minutes, do it right now. Piles are built out of "I'll deal with it later." And every couple of weeks, spend 5 minutes putting everything back to its address. While it's still 5 minutes, not half a day. Do this: gather every loose item into one box, give each category one exact address, and divide your drawers. But what happens when your needs change over time? Principle 6. Transformable furniture. Rigid storage that's frozen in one shape is doomed. Space has to be flexible. Here's what actually works in a small home. A bed with a lift-up base. Everything seasonal fits underneath. It's literally a second closet you already paid for. An ottoman or bench with a hollow inside. You sit on top, you store underneath. A folding console table, narrow against the wall by day, opened up for dinner at night. Shelves that adjust in height to fit what you're storing now, not what you had 10 years ago. The rule is simple. In a small space, every piece of furniture has to work twice. Either fold away when you don't need it, or hide storage inside when you do. Your home should adapt to your life, not the other way around. Do this. When you replace a piece, pick the one that works twice. A lift-up bed, a storage ottoman, a folding table. Even with all 6 principles, there's one last, most important step. Without it, the whole system eventually collapses. It's time to reveal the 7th rule. The last principle is the 30% rule of empty air. We're raised to pack our shelves to the brim. Any empty space feels like a waste. But empty space isn't the absence of things. Empty space is a luxury. It's the air your home needs to breathe. A shelf that's 100% full is dead. Leave exactly 30% of the space empty, and you create a buffer zone. Room to maneuver, room for new things, room for that feeling of lightness. And here's how to actually hold on to that 30%, so your shelves don't fill up again. First, the 1 in, 1 out rule. Something new comes in, one thing goes out, and you physically stop accumulating. Second, once a month, take just one category, clothes, dishes, papers, and let go of what you haven't used in a year. Not the whole house at once, just one zone, so it never wears you down. Third, don't rush to refill an empty shelf. Set one beautiful object on it, and it turns from emptiness into a display. And fourth, keep one maybe box at home. Anything you can't quite toss but don't need goes in there. If you don't reach for it in 3 months, it leaves without a second look. Visual emptiness works like silence in music. It's the silence that gives every note its weight. You open a half-empty drawer, and you physically feel like you're in control of your life again. You're no longer a slave to your own stuff. Do this. Keep the one in, one out rule, and clear one shelf by a third today. The home Dia philosophy comes down to this. Real comfort isn't measured by how much storage you have, but by the quality of the empty space between things. Your home is a direct reflection of your mind. As you clear the space around you, you clear your thoughts too. Let your home breathe, and you'll be surprised how you start breathing easier right along with it. This isn't just tidying up, it's a life transformation.
Now I'm genuinely curious. Which one of these are you going to try first? Drop the number in the comments. I read every single one.